The Apple ecosystem is a daunting one for someone to get into for the very first time, especially because the prices are not exactly the most consumer friendly. Yes, these products are expensive, and the starting price is more than what someone would be willing to pay to test out something that they're not exactly sure is the right fit for them. But in this video, I'm going to walk you through two different scenarios that can get you into that Apple ecosystem from a macOS perspective under $1,000 total before tax. My goal with this video is to educate you with some of the options that you have that you might not know about that will get you into that ecosystem at a price that's not going to kill your wallet. So let's get started. Option number one is buying everything brand new, either from Apple directly or from a third-party retailer like Best Buy or Amazon. So we're gonna start with the core of our setup, the desktop. And with that, we're going to go with the Mac Mini. The Mac Mini comes in at a starting price of $699. And for that $699, you get a Mac Mini with an 8-core CPU and an 8-core GPU with 256 gigabytes of storage. Now, I've made videos about the Mac Mini in the past, but it is definitely one of, if not my favorite, Apple computer that has ever been released. The amount of computing power that that computer has for this price point is insane. I've edited 4K videos with it. I've recorded full-on songs with it. So if you're looking for a work computer that's gonna let you do all the word processing and Excel spreadsheets and all that kind of stuff that you need to do, or if you need something with a little bit more oomph and a little bit more power to do some of those creative tasks like editing photos, editing videos, anything of that sort, creating music in GarageBand or even Logic, then this is a great starting point. For $699, you definitely cannot go wrong. Now, the downside of the Mac Mini is that it's just the computer. You don't get the keyboard, you don't get the mouse, you don't get the monitor, right? So let's address that. For the monitor, we're gonna go to Best Buy, and we're gonna look at this LG 24-inch full HD FreeSync monitor that's gonna connect via HDMI in the back of the Mac Mini. This is going for $129.99 at the time of this recording, originally priced at $199.99, and it's got a 4.6 out of 5 rating based on 2,748 reviews. LG is a respected brand, and I know many people who have used their computer monitors and their TVs who have loved their product. So I think that this is a very good option for you. 24 inches, not the biggest monitor in the world, but it is the size of the current iMac that Apple is selling right now, which coincidentally has the exact same modifications and specifications as this M1 Mac Mini that I'm showing you right now. Now, the speakers on the Mac Mini are not good. They in fact are quite terrible, and I would not recommend you listening to anything from them at all. And I can't vouch for the speakers on the LG monitor. So I'm going to direct your attention to Amazon, where you can purchase these Sanyon 60-watt 3-inch active Bluetooth speakers that are great bookshelf speakers, but can also connect to your computer via not only Bluetooth, but USB, and you can control the volume from your Mac to these speakers as well. The reviews that I've read are excellent on these, and people have said that for the price point, the sound quality is quite excellent. Now, you can actually control the treble and the bass on these, which I think is really unique. So I like the fact that you can do that, and they're super clean. They look great. Imagine these on your desktop. It's just gonna make your setup look amazing. You can buy them in white or black for that $69.99 price point. Now, the monitor that you get is not going to come with a webcam. So if you want to do any Zoom calls or FaceTime or anything like that, you'll need a good quality webcam. Amazon sells this webcam HD 1080p web camera for $27.99. It records in 1080 and it also has a microphone on it. Now, this will take up one of the two USB-A ports that you have in the back of the Mac Mini. The other USB-A port will be used for the speakers that you are going to get as well, the Sanyon speakers. Next up, let's talk keyboards. You can get this Bluetooth keyboard for macOS from a band called Nesuq. I apologize if I'm getting that wrong, for $26.99, and you can actually save an extra 15% if you click this button here. Now, I haven't factored that in into the total price, but that's good to know that you can get the additional 15% off from there. This connects via Bluetooth, so you don't need any connectivity in the back to connect to it. Now, one of the cool things about this keyboard is that it is rechargeable. So once the battery dies down, you can plug it in a la a regular Apple keyboard. That's much more expensive, but you don't necessarily need to get that one. We're talking brand new stuff right now. You can plug that in. You can plug this keyboard in, and let's say wait about half an hour to an hour, and it'll be fully recharged for you to use for many days, if not weeks after that. Finally, we're gonna talk mice. This Bluetooth rechargeable mouse made by a band called Zero ZERU, also sells on Amazon for $14.89. This is also a rechargeable mouse. You can recharge it from this front port right here, which is different than the type of mouse that Apple has where you have to recharge it over here, which is a big point of controversy for some reason. But yeah, you can't use the mouse when you're charging it this way. That's probably why people don't like it. But with this one, it looks like you can do that. You just plug it in, again, using USB. So here's one of the things that you have to think of. So the USB that this is using is the USB-A, and you only have 2 of those ports in the back. Maybe you unplug the speaker while you charge your keyboard or while you charge your mouse, let that do its thing, and then swap them out again. You can purchase a dongle like this that connects via USB-C. You have 2 of these actually in the back of the Mac Mini. So if you plug this in, you get an additional 4 USB-A ports that are USB 3.0. So that'll expand your USB-As from 2 to 6 if you want to do something like that. This costs you somewhere around $25 to $30. You can also find this on Amazon. If you like, I can link that below as well. I've not included that in the final price of this, but if you are in need of more USB-A ports, you can get them simply by buying a dongle like so. The whopping price of everything that we got: the Mac Mini, the 24-inch LG, the Sanyon 60-watt Bluetooth speakers, the webcam, the keyboard, and the Bluetooth mouse from Zero, comes out to a whopping total of $968.85. Remember, we are trying to stay at that $1,000 maximum price point, and this is purchasing everything brand new. Just to give you an understanding of how much everything would cost if we purchased it directly from Apple, let's do a price comparison. So for the Mac Mini at $699, the Studio Display at $1599, the Magic Mouse at $99, and the Magic Keyboard for $99, comes out to a whopping total of $2,496 before tax. So we're talking about a almost $1,500 price difference if you purchase it the way that I showed you versus purchasing it all directly from Apple. Now, of course, there's benefits from getting it directly from Apple because everything will work in unison beautifully. You won't need speakers because the Studio Display will have speakers for you. You won't need a webcam because the Studio Display will have that as well. You're gonna get a bigger screen at 27 inches versus 24. You're going to get a 5K screen versus a 1080 screen. Basically a 1K screen. There's a lot of benefits that you get from it. But again, if you are okay with making that $2,500 investment, by all means, I highly encourage you to do it. If you're looking for that $1,000 maximum threshold, which is what we're talking about in this video, and the way that I showed you in option 1, I think is your best bet. However, there is a second option that we're going to talk about, and that's purchasing everything refurbished or used, either from Amazon or eBay. And these are the items that I picked out. First and foremost, we're gonna stay in the M1 lineup with the M1 MacBook Air. If the M1 Mac Mini is my favorite desktop, then the M1 MacBook Air might just be my favorite laptop that Apple has ever made. My wife currently has the M1 MacBook Air and she absolutely loves it. She has this configuration of it, which is the 256 gigabyte solid state drive, the 8 gigabit unified memory. It is more than enough for her. You can find this right now on eBay for $700 at a buy it now price. Now, why a laptop and not a desktop? I like the flexibility of being able to hook up your laptop to a monitor when you need that desktop experience, but also removing it from the monitor and having a more laptop experience, maybe in bed or on the patio, in the backyard, in the living room, at a coffee shop, at a conference, wherever you need to take your laptop with you, and then bring all of that back with you, hook it up to your home setup, and you're good to go. I really do love the flexibility that a laptop provides, and so that's why I wanted to show you a laptop option as well as the desktop option. Now we're gonna have to connect our laptop to a display, and lucky for us, the Studio Display is not the first display that Apple has ever made. In fact, they've been making displays for decades. And one of the best displays that they ever made, in my personal opinion, was the 27-inch Thunderbolt display that was released back in 2011. Those things used to sell for $1,000, but today you can find one on eBay for $174.99. This actually has some extra ports in the back. So now the MacBook Air only going to give you 2 ports in the Thunderbolt 3 ports. You will not actually have the USB-A ports that I've showed you here. Now again, you can buy a dongle and connect this to it and get 4 USB-A ports, but the Thunderbolt display will actually give you 3 USB-A ports, a FireWire port, a Thunderbolt port, and an Ethernet port. Now, for our purposes, you're not going to need the FireWire port, and you probably won't even need the Thunderbolt port. But it is still cool that the Thunderbolt display gives you 3 additional USB-A ports in the back, as well as an Ethernet connection port as well, if you want to directly connect to your modem. Now the Thunderbolt display connects via, you guessed it, Thunderbolt. And now Thunderbolt has changed over the years. With it, the design of the Thunderbolt cable has changed as well. It is now quite thin, but before it was a little thicker. And that's the size of the cable that comes on the back of the Thunderbolt display. So you're gonna need some sort of dongle that will be able to adapt the Thunderbolt 1 or 2 design to the Thunderbolt 3 design that's on your MacBook Air. Enter the Thunderbolt 2 to 3 adapter that Apple usually sells for $49 brand new. I found one on eBay used, but it'll still work for $28. So in essence, what you do is you take the cable from the back of the Thunderbolt display, you connect it into the bottom side of this adapter right here, and this part of the cable goes into your MacBook Air. And what that's going to do is it's going to extend your desktop from just being on the MacBook Air to being on the MacBook Air and the Thunderbolt display. If you so wish to use the MacBook in clamshell mode, which basically means you can close the laptop and still view the entire screen on the Thunderbolt display, then you'll have to use both ports that you have on the laptop, one for charging the laptop and one for connecting it to the Thunderbolt display using this adapter. Finally, let's get to the peripherals. The Apple Magic Mouse 2. In fact, this very mouse that I have right here usually sells brand new for $99. Someone on eBay is selling it for $31.79. You charge it via the lightning cable that you have with iPhones and the such and old school iPads. And so if you have an iPhone cable sitting around, you'll be able to charge the Apple Magic Mouse 2. If you get the Apple Magic Mouse 1, that's a good mouse too. Just know that that mouse is not rechargeable and you actually have to change the batteries in there. I believe they're AA batteries and it doesn't last for that long. I think you can go about a month before you have to change out the batteries. I found it to be very frustrating and was not cost effective at all. So I love the option of being able to charge it using the lightning cable that you can get from an iPhone or anything like that. And finally, the Magic 2 keyboard. This is also a rechargeable keyboard using that same lightning cable that I was talking about. Very similar to this keyboard right here that has the charging port right there in the middle. Now this keyboard has this whole section, which is the number pad and the home function, page up, page down button, all that kind of stuff. This keyboard that I'm showing you does not have those keys, but it has everything else. So it's in essence the keyboard from here to here with the addition of the arrow keys as well. So you'll get the arrow keys and you'll get all of this, but you won't get any of these keys, which really isn't like a deal breaker. But if you don't need the keypad, if you don't need this number pad right here, then you can get a pretty good condition Apple II keyboard, rechargeable wireless keyboard for $38.87. So that gets you your laptop, your Thunderbolt display, your adapter for the Thunderbolt display to your laptop, your mouse, and your keyboard. You won't need any speakers because the speakers on the Thunderbolt display are quite good. You won't need a webcam because the webcam on the Thunderbolt display is also quite good. It's a 2K screen as opposed to the 5K screen of the studio display and as opposed to the 1K screen that we bought brand new from Best Buy that was from LG. All in all, this option will cost you $973.15 before taxes. In my opinion, you really can't go wrong with either option. Now, you have to be careful when buying things used from eBay. Do your research, make sure that the seller is legit, that they've sold things before, that they have a good rating, all that kind of stuff, that they offer possibly free shipping or cheap shipping, and also that they're open to the idea of returns or anything like that. Do your research before you make that sort of purchase so you don't find yourself in trouble. Now, eBay is actually quite good, and I have a friend of mine that works at eBay at taking care of their customers and making sure that they do right by their customers and their sellers. So if you do find yourself in a pickle with eBay, I'm sure they'll be able to help. You can also do your research and look around at other sites like Adorama, B&H, who often give discounts, and keep an eye out at macrumors.com. They've always got the latest and greatest news of all things Apple discounts and deals and the such, whether it's for AirPods or iPads or even a Mac desktop or a laptop. Whether you decide to go the refurbished route or the all-new route, I hope whatever purchase you make ends up being a good one and one that you are completely happy with. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing for more tech, productivity, and how-to videos. My name is Amir, and I'll see you next time.